Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, April 24th, and what you're seeing on your screen is an accident happening on Highway 90. This is our TransGuide shot looking over it right now.
That's right. What you can see here in the middle of the screen, it's a little hard to see at this distance, and we're going to show you another shot in just a moment, but this is involving a school bus, and this is eastbound 90 coming into San Antonio towards I-35, not too far from 35 itself. You've noticed they've got all the main lanes closed right now, and we have emergency vehicles on the other side of the divider. Here's what we know so far. This happened just after 8 o'clock this morning. The call came in. At last check, there are 13 San Antonio fire units out there on the scene. TransGuide is telling us there are no kids on that bus. We just found out a short time ago that this bus is affiliated with Pre-K for SA. We also are hearing that this involves up to 4 vehicles.
Yes, and then this picture you're looking at here, this is from our live crew who's at the scene right now. Patty Santos is at the scene, and this is a picture from their viewpoint of this crash that happened earlier this morning.
All right, so our Patty Santos is out there, going to try to get some more information now. The really tricky part as we bring in Justin Horn and let's start looking at the maps is the big backups right now on Highway 90 coming into town and a lack of detours in that area.
You're exactly right. And if I could get you guys to switch over to Max 1, if you can, that would be great. Otherwise, I can work off this separate computer. But what we're looking at there is the backup. And I can tell you the eastbound lanes are backed up nearly 2 miles. So you're talking all the way back to close to 151. There we go. Thank you, Jamie. And what I'll do is I'll zoom in a little bit closer and I'll show you the distances. But you're backed up nearly almost 3 miles, actually, close to 151 on 90 if you're coming in eastbound. And as Mark pointed out, there's not a lot of great ways to get around this. You may just want to, turn around and try to get on 410 and maybe go completely around this because this is going to cause some big issues.
Well, the big problem right there, because 35 starts to elevate and split off onto 35 in both directions, there's no access road beyond Nogalitos right there. So the traffic on the access road where it dead ends at Nogalitos in both directions, left or right, north or south, is going to be a nightmare for some time now.
Yes, and you're right because they have that completely blocked off. So if you're getting on the service road there, and you can see that on the left side of your screen, everyone's kind of getting into a line, but there is no real good way to divert this traffic around this. So no, there will be big backups.
And the other thing that we noticed a while ago, we saw a huge backup on 90 earlier. We now believe that they have shut down the highway further back, and they were letting a stream of cars through to kind of ease the congestion leading up to this accident scene just a short time ago. Those vehicles have now stopped coming through, so the closure is further back beyond those over the highway signs.
Yeah, there's still a ton of first responders there, and westbound lanes, by the way, backed up too, because you've got first responders there in the left-hand lanes of the westbound lanes, and so westbound 90 or Interstate 10 is backed up going that direction out of town. So just a big problem there. You're going to want to avoid it if you can. All right, let's go back to the maps real quick, and we'll get into the weather forecast for you. And what we have noticed this morning, and you can kind of see it actually here in this shot, is some low-hanging clouds. We've had some drizzle off and on and some moisture as looks like one of the fire trucks is leaving there. But yeah, we'll go over to the weather forecast here very quickly, and I'll show you the time lapse of kind of how everything unfolded this morning. And you see the clouds kind of dropping down a little bit. We had some brief areas of drizzle come through. You'll see a few drops on your screen right there. And then now we're left with cloudy skies. Here's how I think the forecast plays out today. Noontime 76 and cloudy. Then we'll start to get some breaks this afternoon. A lot like yesterday, though. More clouds than sun. Very humid, 83 is our forecast high today, and then down into the upper 70s tonight by, say, 9 o'clock with those good southeasterly winds. If you're heading out to Nyosa, just know it's going to be sticky. Temperatures in the 80s, probably only dropping down into the mid-70s by 10 p.m., so it stays warm. Not a bad night for Nyosa, but certainly warmer than it was yesterday. We may be dealing with some storms by the time we get into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I know we've got a lot of Fiesta events going on then. We're going to talk about the timing, how this all may work out, coming up in just a couple minutes.
All right, thank you, Justin. Good morning. Again, it is Wednesday, April 24th, and we have been talking about this accident all morning.
That's right, and we're going to go back out to the scene right now, and I'm told that Patty Santos is standing by. Patty, can you get us an update from your viewpoint? Oh, wow, look at the damage there to that one vehicle right there on that edge of the bus. Go ahead, Patty.
Yeah, that's exactly the shot that you're seeing from our vehicle right now. And what we're seeing right now is that there's just so much traffic. The police department is trying to get everyone off the road while they handle this. Even up to 5-10 minutes ago, we were still hearing emergency vehicles trying to come into this area because they just couldn't get through. They couldn't get through all this traffic. And so that's one of the issues that they initially had, is trying to get emergency vehicles up close as possible to this crash. The good news right now is, my understanding is that there were no kids inside this this bus. That's what TransGuide is telling us. But we did hear from police chatter, that there was some serious injuries involved here. And obviously from the look of that vehicle that you can tell there, it is pretty heavily damaged. So we are going to stay here and we're going to wait for more information on exactly what took place. But multiple vehicles involved, and of course the traffic in this area. We knew not to take Highway 90 because it was just going to be so congested. We heard the closures right away, and even the traffic's that's going westbound right now, there's a lot of people that are just stopping to see the crash. So traffic is going to be slow even on the other side of the highway, even though it's not affecting westbound lanes. But this is what the scene looks like right now. Good news is there was no children. From what we understand, what TransGuide is telling us, there was no, what TxDOT is telling us, there were no children inside the bus, but this was a serious injury crash. So we're going to bring you more updates as we get them. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Patty, thank you. And we also got a statement from Pre-K for SA this morning. They said shortly after 8 a.m., the Pre-K for SA bus was involved in an accident near Highway 90 East, like we've said, on Interstate 35. No children were on the bus. Now, they tell us that the bus was en route to the Pre-K for SA West Center to pick up a class for a planned field trip. So again, they say the safety and security of our children and staff is our utmost priority.
And in a bit of a coincidence, you may remember just a week or two ago during some wet weather, another Pre-K for SA bus was involved in a wet weather accident right over by North Star Mall, but no kids were on that. Oh, there were kids on that one.
On that one, yes, there were, but they were okay, thank goodness.
All right, so again, confirmation, no children on the bus from Pre-K for SA today.
That's right, and for now, let's go ahead and look at today's 9 at 9.
The Senate passed a major foreign aid bill to help Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan Tuesday night. The legislation now heads to President Biden's desk for his signature. The president says he will sign the bill into law today. Once that happens, the U.S. will start sending more weapons and equipment to Ukraine. The bill will also provide help to those seeking security and stability in the Indo-Pacific region.
In Uvalde, Governor Greg Abbott says a $34 million behavioral health campus is coming to the community. The campus will provide on-site care to children and adults experiencing a mental health crisis. Construction on the site will start this summer, and the campus is set to open next summer. The funding was approved in the last legislative session and will also fund the facility's first year of operation to support services to people in need. The campus will serve a total of 32 South Central Texas counties.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration says that samples of pasteurized milk tested positive for remnants of the bird flu virus. However, the agency says the commercial milk supply is safe, in part because of pasteurization, which heats milk to a specific temperature for a period of time. The announcement comes nearly a month after an avian influenza virus sickened millions of wild and commercial birds, and in recent years was detected in dairy cows in at least 8 states.
Nearly 40% of people across the U.S. are living with unhealthy air pollution. That's according to a new report released Wednesday by the American Lung Association. Researchers analyzed EPA data on air quality throughout the U.S. The group listed extreme heat, drought, and wildfires among factors that have contributed to a rise in deadly air pollution.
A labor complaint reveals allegations that Boeing retaliated against 2 of its engineers during performance reviews, giving them negative scores. The 2 employees raised concerns about engineering work on Boeing's 777 and 787 aircraft. Boeing initially pushed back against redoing the work before agreeing to do it. The complaint states that the negative reviews could harm the engineers when it comes to promotions or could subject them to layoffs. Boeing said it investigated the incident, but its report could only be shared with the FAA.
Nike announced it will be laying off 740 employees at its headquarters in Beaverton, Oregon. These jobs are expected to be eliminated before the end of June. Company officials have already notified state and local officials about these upcoming cuts as part of the Mandatory Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification Act. Nike is using these job reductions as a plan to slash $2 billion in costs.
Non-compete clauses could be a non-starter soon across the country. The FTC has voted to ban the agreements which bar workers from taking a job with a competitor. The rule, which does not apply to workers at nonprofits, will take effect in 4 months unless it's challenged in court.
Some new fine print is on the way for anyone trying to build up rewards points with American Airlines. Starting in July, booking a flight will only earn points if it's done through American directly or a preferred travel agency. Points can also still be earned by spending on select credit cards.
The Houston Texans have debuted their new 2024 jerseys in a monumental way. The new custom design was unveiled on the Sam Houston statue on I-45 in Huntsville. A crane outfitted the monument with a new dark blue Houston Texans 5XL jersey that read H-Town. The statue towers about 70 feet over Interstate 45. So far, the new uniforms are a hit with fans. And that's today's 9 at 9.
Well, we're a neighborhood. Yes, we know our neighbors. And you can tell worker bees, and you can tell tourists, and you can tell residents.
Nobody's defined by the things that they own.
Affordable housing is an issue in our community.
People go through hard times. People go through struggles.
It's a mess. Yeah, it's a lot of construction going on.
Sidewalks are closed, some roads are closed right now.
I know it's pretty unavoidable, but the construction.
We'd like for it to be done and so we can get around a lot easier.
It gets hectic at times. You know, I understand the reason for it, but it's been quite some time navigating.
You have to know that you're going to hear the rambling of the Spurs winds downtown, down Commerce Street. Yeah. You're going to hear the horns of Fiesta for 2+ weeks. San Antonians love to party. Downtown isn't just for tourists anymore. It is a place where people work, live, and play.
So it is our neighborhood, but it's everybody's place to come.
Downtown San Antonio is one of the most recognizable parts of the Alamo City, and it's the topic of our newest Know My Neighborhood.
That's right. The area brings in so many tourists, especially this time of year for Fiesta, and many locals call downtown home as well. So later today on the 6 o'clock news, we are talking about the people and the challenges.
We got Steve Spriester up early again to join us now with a preview of what we can expect tonight.
Yeah, imagine living downtown, especially this week, with Fiesta right outside your front door.
Right.
It's unique challenges, but unique opportunities, and it seems like the people who live in this neighborhood relish the fact that they have this much activity, this much noise right outside their front door. But, you know, as we pointed out in that sizzle reel that we just showed you, there are some significant challenges right now to living downtown.
It's like location, location, location.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact, just getting around downtown.
Yeah.
And there are some people who live downtown who've actually given up their cars, which I know is kind of foreign to many of us Texans, actually not having a vehicle. But then you've got to get a bus that's maybe not as quick as it used to be to get you where you need to go. We talked to a student that goes to UTSA. She goes to the main campus.
Oh,
and
wow.
it takes her over an hour to get there these days. But just, we talked about Hemisphere. We're going to be live from Civic Park tonight. Just getting to Hemisphere is not easy.
Not right now, not with that construction there on Alamo. And it makes me wonder because, Nios already started.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow on Friday, La Semana Alegre.
Yes.
Right across the street.
Yes. Right.
Closed,
that's where we're going. That's where we're going to be live from. Is at Semana de Alegre. Yeah. And the question is, all these people down there. Somebody took a shot last night from their office downtown of just a line of people waiting to get into Nyosa at La Villita, and it was just amazing. But it points out you've got a mixture right now of locals and tourists and people who live down there, all converging on downtown San Antonio, which we all love. But would we want to live there? That's the question. And it's faced by a lot of different things that all of us face across the city. Homelessness is an issue. I talked to the neighbors about crime. Are they concerned about, walking downtown late at night? Those kind of things. And the biggest issue is you heard the people who lived in a house downtown. And technically, KSAT's considered downtown. They said, we just want it to be finished. We just want downtown to be finished. Right. So it's funny when you talk to these people, but all of them seem to face it with a smile.
You talked about mass transit a little bit earlier, Steve. Is it bad enough now that it's part of the discussion about what to do next to deal with mass transit? Because we've talked about light rail for years now. It's come and gone, that concept. Is it back on the table at this point?
My opinion is you and I can talk about it, but it doesn't seem like politicians want to.
Yeah. It's a hot
because
potato.
It was such a hot potato the last time. Ivy Taylor basically won election as a mayor because she killed light rail. So, I think it's being whispered, but I don't know which politician is going to step forward and say, listen, it's time for us to do something. At least downtown or the south side to the medical center would seem to make sense, but like I said, I haven't heard those discussions being made by people who make those decisions.
Sure. Well, and it's all not all negatives, of course.
No, of course not. There's a lot of pluses. And actually, I was going to say, I know a few years back, or maybe more, one of the biggest issues, there was not like a grocery store. Now there's the downtown HEB. But, what do people really love about living downtown?
So the downtown HEB, since you brought that up, people love it, but they want a bigger grocery store. And they say that is the biggest challenge. If you're going to make dinner for somebody, have somebody over to your house, you've got to go out of downtown to get the ingredients most of the times that you need to make that. But they also, just the hustle and the bustle, I think, is what people love about living downtown and feeling like you can walk out your door and go to a great restaurant. You can walk out your door. The river walks your front yard. It's that kind of lure to downtown. Sure. And you get the sense when you see like the Tower Life building being transitioned from an office building to condos, you get the sense that downtown is attracting more and more people, and it's a diverse group of people that we found that are living downtown. And as one lady said, I can tell the people who live here, the worker bees, and the tourists. and I asked, do you ever get sick of all the tourists that come to downtown San Antonio? She said, no, I love it. I love showing off our city. So that's, those are all questions you have. And like you said, certain things that, at your house, Mark, you're not going to have a tourist just walk by and, hey, can you show me can you tell me how to get to the Alamo?
Right.
Well, you never know.
You never know.
You'll be ready.
And of course, tourism and hospitality is our bread and butter. So much more to come on this. We're going to go even deeper into this in the latest Know My Neighborhood. And you guys will be live taking on the show on the road out at
Civic Park, 6 o'clock. Right. Myra and I will be out there at 5 and 6. So.
That'll be a lot of fun. We look forward to it.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
Steve, thank you, sir. Right now, 9:16, 71 degrees. Still ahead on GMSA at 9.
Well, if you're headed to Nyosa tonight, you're going to see a rock hanging up in La Villita. It's the Rain Rock, and it's a tradition that dates back decades. We're going to tell you how it all got started, and then KSAT explains.
Outside with live cam, pretty gray out there, 71 degrees. The big news, of course, still is the inbound traffic on Highway 90 due to that bus crash earlier. No kids involved, but the backups continue. We will continue to monitor that for you right here on GMSA at 9. Welcome back. As you plan your next Fiesta event, St. Philip's College invites you to their family-friendly festival featuring a rib cook-off, live music, and several vendors.
Our Tiffany Huertas joins us live from St. Philip's College with more details on the 29th Annual Culture Fest and rib cook-off. So the proceeds will help support students. Tiffany.
Good morning. You know it's Fiesta here at St. Philip's College when you have Phil the Tiger. Check out his outfit. Oh yeah, check it out. He has the Culture Fest shirt on. He has the medal and it lights up. How cool is that? But it's all about the students again. For months, they have been working on different projects, including these barbecue pits right here. Students from the college have been preparing for this big event. And we have two special students, Diana, president of the Welding Club, and Daniel, vice president. Good morning to both of you. We'll start off with these barbecue pits. Tell us about the preparation to get to this moment.
So it just takes time in the summer at a point to order the material, start working on for months, and then laying out, putting out your heat, making sure that the structural integrity is done right, and have multiple people work and get a chance to show off their skills. Because in the end, the raffle money for Culture Fest goes into scholarships, and students are able to get that money and put it back into school.
And Daniel, tell us about what was your favorite part about this project?
So the favorite part about this project is the bonding experience I got with my fellow students. So with the students in the welding club, some of them are a little new to the whole welding environment. So me, with experience, I'm able to teach them how to do things right and what not to do in the real world when they go out and graduate with their degree or certifications.
Can you show us some of these barbecue pits?
So with this one right here is a smoker, and you can obviously tell it's a little bit taller than everyone else's. So with this one, well, obviously we have our air vent for the airflow to heat up the side where you want it cold or not. And then inside, we have multiple racks so that you can lay out your meat, your brisket, your ribs. And then we have hooks here on the top where we could be able to hang your whole carcass of whatever animal you want. And then from that point on, it's a smoker. You let it heat.
And she's showing us how it's done. It's going to be filled with lots of food for someone that wins this raffle. And again, when can people join this raffle?
Tickets are available online till today till 5. And then here at the Culture Fest, we have our own booth where you can buy the tickets. So the tickets will be 3 for $25, and then for one ticket, just $10. And so I would advise to get 3 tickets. Me personally, I will be getting 3 tickets. I really want to win these, but tickets will be sale for majority of the Culture Fest.
And what a way to end the year. Both of you will be graduating this year, so big congratulations to both of you. And we do have those details on a graphic for you right now. It's going to be taking place, the event tomorrow, April 25th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. There's going to be music, food, vendors, and raffles. And we just want to say Viva Fiesta to everyone, and we're so excited. We hope you can join them and support the students here at St. Philip's College. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Tiffany. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Tiffany. Back out live to the west side where we're still tracking the school bus accident on the eastbound lanes of Highway 90 approaching I-35.
That's right. So all the eastbound lanes are closed right now. This is after the school bus crash. You could see the bus right there. This is a pre-K for SA bus, and we got a statement from pre-K for SA confirming that there were no children on the bus at the time of the accident. We've also been hearing that the person driving, likely the vehicle that's smashed there, kind of the right center of your screen, was seriously injured. It's a bad enough incident that on the left side you see the tripod out. Those are investigators with the SAPD Traffic Investigation Division, and they're out there right now as far as the investigation goes, just beginning things, taking measurements, pictures, etc. But this is causing, even though it's 9:24 in the morning, this has caused a massive backup on Highway 90 coming into San Antonio. Yes, it has, because this actually happened right after 8 in the morning. So investigators have been out there for a while. The scene has been out there for a while, and the lanes have been closed for a long time. So the tricky part, since eastbound 90 in that area is closed, the main lanes, where do you go? Justin Horn's tracking the not only the delays, but some possible detours.
Yeah, that's the big question. And they're also saying, by the way, that this could take several more hours to clear up. So if you're going to be traveling on 90 into downtown, you have a couple of options here, not many. And by the way, at the moment, they're having everyone exit Zarzamora, which is back here. But you'll notice the backup extends quite a distance. So there's a couple of options here. You can take General McMullen and cut across over to Couples, and then you can cut across to Theo Malone and get over to 35. Now that will take some time too, but it's probably a little bit faster than sitting in this traffic because again, you're going to exit Zarzamora if you stay in the backup, and then you'll come down here and go over to 35 anyhow. But those are a couple of the options. You can also exit Couples. There's a lot of traffic doing that as well. So it's going to be a slow go of it no matter how you go. But just a couple options for you if you are headed on 90 eastbound. And 90 westbound's backed up too because there's a couple of lanes involved across the median that are shut down. So it's just not a great area. If you can avoid it altogether, that's probably your best bet. Okay, humidity came back in a big way last night. It is sticky out there. Dew points are in the upper 60s. We got dew points in the 70s across deep South Texas, and this moisture is being moved off to the north. So even North Texas now starting to see dew points rise. And this is just thick humidity coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. The end result, a lot of clouds. Yesterday, we thought those clouds would thin out some. They really didn't. It stayed mostly cloudy. And just looking at the cloud deck today, it's going to be hard for this to break up. So we're going to continue to see some overcast skies, maybe a few breaks this afternoon. Right now, we've got cloudy skies and temperatures at the airport, 72. Still some 60s for places like Burnie and Kerrville. And I think we'll end up around 83 this afternoon. It'll be a warm day, warm and humid, but again, mostly cloudy. Nyosa tonight, 80 at 8 o'clock, 76, 10 p.m. Warm and more sticky than it was last night if you have plans to head out there. So let's look forward into the future here. Not much going on today. As we look to tomorrow, there will start to be some storms up across parts of, say, Nebraska. It's still pretty quiet here. We could see a few drizzly showers tomorrow morning. Dry line moves a little bit closer on tomorrow afternoon, but we're not expecting much. Maybe a storm or two in the mountains of Mexico. There is a risk for severe weather, though, across the Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma, parts of Kansas. I think for us, we probably avoid it. But as we get into Friday, we're going to watch for a few storms. Now, this shows some storms Friday morning. I'm not too convinced of that. I think we'll see maybe a couple showers. We'll have to watch that for Battle of Flowers. But by Friday afternoon, along the dry line, a few more storms may try to develop. So Friday's a day we'll watch, and it does show, Storm Prediction Center does show there could be some severe weather along that dry line, especially off to our north. So days to watch, and we think even into the weekend there are some chances of storms here. Now, hopefully we can thread the needle, have Battle of Flowers, Flambeau, all go off without a hitch. But we do need to watch it because if any of these storms, if we do get storms, they do develop, there is a risk for some severe weather. We'll be right back.
Your 2024 Fiesta Royalty, powered by your local San Antonio area Chevy dealers.
My name's John McFadden, and I am Ray Feo 75.
Meet this year's El Ray Feo, or the Ugly King.
I'm retired Air Force, so I was stationed out at Randolph a couple of different times. I'm the first active duty military retired Ray Feo as well. And being in Military City, USA, I'm proud of that.
A background perfectly fit for Fiesta Royalty.
I've been involved with the Fiesta ever since we moved here, 30 years ago.
For the past 12 years, he's been part of the Fiesta Commission and the Ray Feo Consejo Foundation.
They just asked me if I would be Ray Feo, and who's going to say no to that?
Especially after experiencing what it's like to give back, visiting local schools, and awarding students with life-changing scholarships.
Boy, that was it. When you see the look on those kids' faces and you hand out the checks to the kids, and it just gives me goosebumps to think about that there's hope that maybe they didn't know how they were going to further their education, and because of the work that we're doing, that now they can. And I just don't know how you put a price on that.
The foundation has given out more than $9 million in scholarships since the first Ray Feo was crowned 75 years ago.
The more work that we've done to raise money for scholarships, the more appreciation I have for the 74 people who went before me. It's been an honor just to follow in their footsteps. Viva Fiesta!
80 morning headlines, a warning from health officials over fake Botox.
And a perfect ACT score, and a dairy producer turning their milk blue for Star Wars. David Sears is here with your morning headlines.
You're a Star Wars fanatic, so I'm guessing you know about the blue milk.
Yes, I saw it.
Why there's blue milk? Okay.
It looks interesting.
Don't give it away. Some of us may not know that.
All right.
All right, we'll get to that in a second. First, let's start for this. Whether it is for vanity or health reasons, there is a Botox warning this morning. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says, look out for fake Botox injections. They come with danger. At least 22 women have reported getting fake Botox shots, and they've had some negative reactions. 11 women have had to spend some time at a hospital. Fortunately, no deaths. The CDC says the patients range in age from 25 to 59. Their symptoms include drooping eyelids, blurred vision, and weakness. Just about all the women got the fake Botox for cosmetic reasons. The Food and Drug Administration has said that the fake Botox purchases came from unlicensed sources. All right, meet Allie Mathias. She is a junior at a Wisconsin high school. Talk about smart and involved. She took the ACT test earlier this spring, aced it. Perfect score. She's just a junior. So she's getting rewarded this summer. She has been accepted into the MIT's prestigious Women in Technology program, one of only 20 women invited.
I was actually at lunch when I got the email, and I was reading it, and all my friends were sitting around me. I almost started crying my eyes out when I was sitting there, and I was like freaking out inside.
She just has ability and grit and determination and a work ethic.
And hold on to your extracurricular hat. Allie is more than just a brainiac. She does forensics. She is in vocal jazz. She's in the book club, the student leadership club. She does mock trials. She's an athlete too. She's on the swim team, varsity soccer, and varsity cross country. When she goes to college, she wants to study biomedical engineering. Good luck with that. And yes, that is a jug of blue milk right there. And yes, look at there, Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker right there on the label. Since we are just a couple of weeks away from National Star Wars Day on May 4th, Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader are all over that jug of blue milk. It was introduced when, Stephanie, when was the blue milk introduced in Star Wars? Do you remember?
Well, in New Hope, which is the first one.
First one.
Which is the first one?
1977.
Yeah.
And why was it blue milk? Just because it was Star Wars and needed to be a little different?
I think.
I think the milk is from a creature that actually showed up in some of the later Star Wars films.
Okay.
But this was milk served by, I believe, his aunt when he was at home on the moon of on planet Tatooine.
So was the cow milk? Or was the cow blue?
There was no cow.
There's no cow.
The milk just showed up out of nowhere?
No, it's this weird looking thing.
I don't know what you would call it.
Yeah.
So it's not like cow milk
no,
or goat milk. It's like some other creature milk.
It is. Like a Star Wars creature.
Yeah.
Wow.
But nonetheless.
And they drank it?
Yeah.
They drank it.
Okay.
I don't know if it was good. But.
With gusto, especially in the later films.
They dipped chocolate chip cookies in it?
I don't think they dip chocolate chip cookies.
No.
No, only the Empire gets those.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Dave.
Got that cleared up now. Good.
Yeah,
I can go now. Thank you.
You're welcome. 9:36, 72 degrees. There's more ahead on GMSA at 9.
We'll be right back.
The rain rock is a long-standing tradition.
More than 50 years ago, on the day before Nyosa opened, organizers hung this unusual-looking rock on the porch at Nyosa headquarters, and it has one job.
It's also called a hagstone or a holy rock, and that's holy with a little h, not a big H, that would keep the rain away.
Nothing puts a damper on an outdoor event like some rain. So to keep that from happening, organizers look to the past to keep the gray skies away.
Legend has it that the trail drivers in early Texas knew that you could hang a limestone rock with a naturally occurring hole in it on a fence, and that was supposed to keep the rain away.
So a suitable rock with a hole was found and hung, and the rain stayed away. A tradition was born.
They hung it on the front of what is called the Dashiell House, which is at 511 Vita Street, which is our old headquarters, and they hung it on the front of the house, and we had no rain.
The hanging of the rain rock has happened every year since 1970. Has it always worked?
Well, I'm not a weatherman, and we don't keep records, but it's worked pretty much every year.
No matter what, the same rain rock is hung every year.
It's a she. We dubbed her a she years ago, and she has a basket that she lives in year-round, and we bring her out on Monday before Nyosa, and then come Friday night, she will go back to her basket.
Kept safe until next year, when she will be back to keep the rain away. Organizers here know South Texas could use the rain, just not during these 4 nights in Old San Antonio.
We completely concur that we need the rain. We don't mind rain as long as it stops by 5:30 in the evening.
Happy Niosa. Wouldn't it be funny if the Rain Rock had a better forecasting record than the groundhog ever did? Statistically speaking.
Yeah, we joked if the Rain Rock sees its shadow, maybe 2 more weeks of Fiesta.
It's a close call between the two. I'm just saying. Their records are iffy, but,
Right.
you know, we're hoping that we can kind of thread the needle, as I said earlier, with some of these showers and storms with our Fiesta events going on. But there are some chances of rain in our forecast. Pollen count is in. Molds are low. Pecan is low. It's a good-looking pollen count. That's what we like to see. So no big issues today. A lot of clouds this morning. A little bit of drizzle here and there, too. So if you see a few drops on your windshield, that's what this is. It's just good moisture that's working up through South Texas. 73 in New Braunfels, 72 Hondo, 74 in Pleasanton, and still in the 60s up there in the higher elevation, 69 Comfort, 68 in Kerrville. And expect these clouds to hold on for quite a while today. It'll be mostly cloudy even into the afternoon, so temperatures won't get out of control, but it will be warm, 83 and humid this afternoon. And let's look ahead, speaking of the Rain Rock, and look what our rain chances show. And this is what I will tell you, is that we're expecting some drizzle or maybe some light showers Friday morning for Battle of Flowers. We should prepare for a little bit of dampness. Nothing that we think will be too heavy, but just know that that is a possibility. We also could see a few storms Friday evening, Saturday evening, even going into Sunday. All things we're watching, and we'll certainly keep you posted on how things unfold, guys.
Justin, thank you very much. Folks, we want to get you up to speed on how things are looking out there again on the west side. This is eastbound 90 at 35, where we had a school bus accident earlier this morning.
Yeah, it looks a little better than it did earlier. It looks like the traffic is kind of like inching a little bit further. But again, you know, this has been going on since after 8 this morning when the accident happened. And if you're just joining us now, we want to remind you that there were no children on that school bus. But there is a person who was seriously hurt in the accident, and here's a shot from the ground.
That's right. Looking back towards the other side as you're heading towards the I-35 interchange on 90, you see that vehicle severely damaged there in the right rear corner of that bus, and the SAPD traffic investigation detectives or investigators are still out there on the scene. The backup has improved quite a bit in the last hour or so. It's still out there, but Patty Santos was just telling us it sounds like they might actually be moving this closure up a little bit, so that may help as far as traffic goes on places like Nogalitos.
Yes, that would be good news for that to happen, because there's not really an easy way to get around this area.
Again, but no injuries, still slow going out there on Highway 90, on both sides actually, just the west of I-35. Right now we are at just about 9:45.
You're watching GMSA at 9, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. It's 9:48. Let's look at our friends, the hippos, and how they're doing. See what they're up to. Look like some of them, we just saw them earlier.
Both of them.
Oh gosh, they must be camera shy. They must hear our voices and like, no, we're good.
No, I figured it out. Okay, I've done an investigation.
Okay.
There are paid informants out there. And so, yes, they are being tipped off that the cameras are going to be activated here at KSAT. Because, yeah, they were both just swimming right there in the pond.
Yeah, they were frolicking earlier.
I'm not commenting on their fitness, but it's not like they have a lot of places to hide.
That's also true. That's also true.
I like the way you said that.
That's also true. But it's always a great day to go to the zoo. Hey, real quick, before we get to weather, I want to clarify something I said about this bus accident earlier. I mentioned that no kids were hurt. Actually, there were no kids on the bus at all. It was a pre-K for SA bus. It was on its way to pick up kids for a field trip today, and that's the bus that was involved.
Yeah, they did. They confirmed this morning that no children were on the bus, so that part is good news.
Put that back out there. All right, Justin.
Yeah, hot and humid today. That's going to be the theme. We got a lot more humidity out there at the moment, so let's go outside for you. 72, south-southeasterly winds at about 9. Dew point is at 68, and that number is still on the rise, believe it or not. That is significant, too. We're going to see dew points like that most of the day, really through the foreseeable future. So it's going to be sticky for a while. And you see the cloud cover as a result of all that moisture streaming in. We've got clouds stretching across the entire viewing area. Only a few places where there are some breaks. And I think we could see a little bit of sun this afternoon, but it's going to be more cloud cover than sun for sure. Our forecast today, noontime 76, 78 at 1 o'clock. We'll call it mostly cloudy, 83 later today with southeasterly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, then down into the upper 70s tonight. So another mild, warm night. If you're heading out to Nyosa tonight, I'd say a little warm. We're going to start getting into the sweating category, though, Thursday and Friday as things just really heat up and moisture continues to stream in. So it's going to be warm. What about rain, though? Let's look at the futurecast. So a couple of features to look at. We've got a dry line that sets up out west. We're going to fast forward to tomorrow morning. We could see a little bit of drizzle. I think it could be a little bit damp tomorrow and really for the next several days during the morning hours. By tomorrow afternoon, this does not show much, but there will be a risk of severe weather here across parts of North Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. Greatest risk right here from Wichita down to roughly Amarillo and St. Lubbock, and this will stretch back down into West Texas. I think by and large, we're going to avoid any showers or storms on Thursday. Friday is a little bit of a different story because we start to get some energy coming in, and some of that could arrive a little early on Friday. This model shows maybe a couple storms developing. Not too convinced on that, but I do think we could see some showers and certainly some drizzle for Battle of Flowers Friday morning. So we do need to plan for the potential of some damp weather. I don't think it'll be terribly heavy, but just something to think about. Maybe take the umbrella with you if you're heading out to Battle of Flowers. Then as we get into Friday afternoon, again, this model doesn't show much, but along this dry line, we could see a couple of storms. If a storm develops, could be strong to severe. And there is a severe weather risk according to the Storm Prediction Center, and this does include San Antonio. So for the parade forecast, Battle of Flowers, I'd say temperatures in the 70s, possibly damp, certainly cloudy and humid. And then for Fiesta Flambeau, we're going to go 80s. It'll be pretty warm, and we'll watch for a couple of stray storms Saturday night. The risk in general, again, to see a storm is fairly low, but we do need to mention it. A 30% chance Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 20% chance Monday and Tuesday, and temperatures consistent in the 80s with high humidity. We'll be right back.
Update, I just checked out the San Antonio Fire Dispatch page. They have cleared all their units from this scene now, so all that's left out there, San Antonio Police. The main lane's still closed as the investigation continues. We were told this could take hours, but again, no one on that bus. There was no one on that bus earlier. This accident happened a little after 8 this morning in the eastbound lanes of Highway 90, right there at I-35.
Yeah, that was a pre-K for SA bus. They did confirm that there were no children on the bus, and that bus was on its way to pick up kids to go to a field trip.
Now, we're also told that somebody was seriously injured, likely in the vehicle. You see that on the right side of the screen. Much more coming up in our later newscasts and online at KSAT.com.
There are still big backups there on eastbound 90, so avoid that area if you can. Expect some morning drizzle really over the next several days. That includes during Battle of Flowers, so we should probably plan for the possibility of some dampness.
Wait, what?
I know. Yeah, we'll be out there.
No, I heard you all morning. Never mind.
We'll take the umbrella. Thanks for joining us.